It's hard to express the difficulty of leaving this amazing, amazing Sonoran Desert. And it's been a wonderful winter here. I've spent about 4 months in several different places around the Sonoran Desert, but it is starting to just get a little too warm down here. So it's time to head northward a little bit, but I'm not in a big rush. This is kind of a new thing for me, doing video at all. And, you know, I spent last night for hours watching what other people do when they're out there on the road, talking to you folks. And, I'm just not too sure about the whole thing. I talk to myself all the time. I've often wondered if I was the only one that has a constant internal dialogue going on in my life. I talk out loud to myself a lot, and I talk out loud to my cat, too. Not too long ago, I actually read an article that stated that not everybody has an internal dialogue going on all the time like I do. I was kind of surprised by that, and the article said that those of us who do this would be surprised about that. So here we go. So I'm fighting with the phone holder this morning as we get ready to hit the road, and I'm sweaty already. And it's hot and muggy, and I don't have any air conditioning. Time to hit the road. All right, we're leaving our beautiful little site here in Kofa. It's never easy to leave this place, but these mid-90 temperatures are getting to be a little bit much. And I think it'll only be in the mid to high 80s up in Congress where I'm going to head to. Of course, first I got to get to Quartzsite. That's about 20 minutes out. And then hop on the freeway briefly before I take 60. And then go to Wickenburg, because I got to do a little bit of grocery shopping before I head to the next camp in Congress. I'll see this place again next winter. Back out here to the Palm Canyon Road. And I'll tell you what, I only see those last maybe 2 or 3 RVers out here, as this temperature's getting kind of warm to be down here in the low desert. Off we go. So here we come into Palm Canyon Road, bouncy bounce bounce, and we're coming up to pavement, which is going to be Arizona 95, making a right, heading north. And I know it's an old cliche, but guess what? I'm on the road again. Anyone hear me sing it? Let's do it. It's kind of a weird sky day today, too, in the desert. Gray all over, not really a prediction of rain, which we could certainly use. It just seems so weird after days and days of bright blue Arizona sky, typical icon, and now we've got this gray thing happening. But the weather report did say that about 2 o'clock this afternoon we're going to have a big wind coming in from the southwest, which would actually be on my tail and give me a bit of a push. I'm okay with that. Maybe help the gas mileage a little bit, especially at the current gas prices, where I paid almost $5 a gallon for diesel. Last stop, Yuma. You know, and as much as I like the blue skies, they're beautiful over Arizona, I am a nepholographer. I love the clouds. Nepho, Greek for clouds, ographer, taking photographs, and I do a lot of photography of just clouds, but also love those clouds in my landscapes as well. Much better than that clear blue sky. Unless you want to see the moon rise, and I like to do that too. now we're entering the quartzite town limits, but we're still on BLM, and we are approaching one of the 4 long-term visitor areas, and I can't believe it. There's still a few people out here. I'm surprised. Not many, mind you. It's getting pretty warm to be out here, staying in an RV, and looks nothing, of course, like it did in January, the big month for quartzite. Alright, we're going to slow down some more as we get closer here to quartzite. I don't know why somebody has to ride my butt when I'm going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. And we're coming to the second grouping of 2 long-term visitor use areas. You have to get a permit for these, and it's online. I'm not even sure how much it is. I'll look it up and let you know, but I don't really want to stay boondocking, dry camping, paying for that, although they do provide areas where you can get a water and dump situation going on. I guess that's what people really pay for. Even if you don't stay here, then you have the permit. You can come in and out and do that. So, I don't know. I'll think about it and look into it more. This up ahead is as far as I'm going to go into quartzite, and I can't believe how naked it looks right now. Oh my God. The big tent's gone. Most of the RVs are gone. Most of the people are gone. I guess that's all good. But I'm going to have to get on the freeway, sadly. So I'm going to make a turn here. I know that we need our truckers out here working and moving our merchandise for us, so I'm grateful for that. And actually, they should have highways of their own, but the condition of these roads are absolutely horrendous. I mean, trucks are heavy. For example, this thing I'm passing here with, it's an oversized load, and I'm sure they're supposed to be paying more to be on the road with these heavy things, but where's the money going? The roads are all in terrible condition. Our infrastructure is awful in this country. We have not maintained the quality of our transportation system. I swear, there's potholes in this road that are big enough to eat up that big old 18-wheeler. That's how many wheels are really on it. I'd have to count them, and I don't do numbers really well. I just can't believe that we can't come up with a better system for pavement than what we're using. It's so archaic. Yay, there's my turn off, 2 more miles. We've got a lot of plastic that we don't know what to do with, and that's pretty durable shit. It seems like pavement that we drive on could be made out of recycled plastic. I don't really know. I'm no expert. I'm not a road builder, but I just think it's an idea that I'm going to recommend somebody look into. Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we doing something different with our roads? You know, I like to drive, but actually that's bullshit. I'm sorry. Actually, I don't really like to drive that much anymore, but I like to travel, so here we go. Got to get behind the wheel when you're in this country so you can actually see what's along the way. Like the beautiful yellow flowering Palo Verde trees, because I haven't seen very many flowers yet this year. There's my turn off. I'm headed to Wickenburg. Well, and then beyond Wickenburg. But Wickenburg will be the first stop, really, to grocery shop. I feel like a sigh of relief. The exit is paved like new, and it's pretty smooth. don't have to slow down too much doing it. Oh. Yeah, I like these back roads. 2-lane roads, anyway. We used to call that blue lining back in the day, but now you look at the map and the interstates are all marked blue instead. And away we go, 80 miles to Wickenburg. Put it on cruise control and off we go. Now see, it's okay to me if you have to slow down because you're coming into some little burg. And I think this is Brenda. Quite a few RV parks here. Somebody's boat for sale. That's pretty weird. Yeah, it's a little tiny wintry burg, actually. Whoa, can you imagine pulling that mess? No. Sorry, sidetracked. Squirrel, that's me. In the dead of winter, January and February, this place is booming. People all over the place, off-road vehicles cruising along on their own little trails that parallel the road here, and people everywhere. There's a lot of RVs left here, but I just have a feeling that most of them are just parked, because this is the kind of places where you actually just pay for a year, and then whether you're there or not makes no difference. Black Rock Village, right? They have a cafe. Looks like it's even open. I should have stopped for breakfast. Oh well. On the road again. Welcome to Hope, Arizona. And there's an RV park here, and there used to be some other businesses, fuel, restaurant. I don't think any of those things have been open for a long time. And then as you roll out of town, that was it. We just did Hope. There's a sign coming up on the left. I don't know if you'll be able to see it through the trees anymore, but I'll dig through my archives because I'm pretty sure I have a shot of this one too. Lots of people like this because beyond Hope and another little set of mountains, you come up to Harkavar. Don't blink. I don't want you to miss Harkavar. Harkavar has actually been growing. There was one tiny Desert Gem RV park and a restaurant, and then suddenly, whoa! Look out! KOA came in. And they built a big parking lot that people stay in out here, and they call it an RV park. It's got hookups and such. That's it. Harkavar. Next up would be Salome, where she danced. Is there saying? There's a story behind that. A little bigger than Harkavar or Brenda, Hope, any of these other little towns, but not much. Okay, it does have a few more businesses in it. There's also a huge off here to the right. There's a huge kind of, I'm going to call it a subdivision of RVs and modular homes. A friend of mine used to have property out there. Coming up here on the left, the Cactus Bar, Don's Cactus Bar. Really cool inside. I haven't been in it since the fire and the rebuild, but before the burn, the inside of the place, the walls, they were all covered with cactus spines, sort of like wainscoting, but all over the walls. I want to get a ticket. Gotta slow it down for Wendon. Also not a very big burg here. It's pretty quiet now. You can turn off here to the left to Alamo Lake State Park, a place I have yet to explore and probably should. It's a water site. I don't get to very many of those. Centennial Wash. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what a wash is, other than, you know, like wash your dishes, wash your clothes, wash your car, in the Southwest, a wash is usually like an RO. It's a dry riverbed. Creek bed maybe is a better word. It doesn't run all year, so the idea is that if it rains really hard, sometimes that happens in the winter, and mostly it's a summer monsoon thing, then the water has to go someplace. And these are, like I said, dry creek beds, and that's when they flow, and then they are not dry washes, but flowing washes. And they can sometimes be really crazy places to stay out of, because they can be very dangerous when the water flows in the wash. You have to remember that the ground here is really hard and dry. And I always equated to, imagine that sponge that's sitting by your kitchen sink that hasn't been used. You know how hard and shriveled up it gets. That's kind of like what the ground is around here. And when you pick it up and you first try to put water on it, it doesn't want to soak in at all. It just kind of runs off, right? That's what happens to the ground here. Then slowly but surely, the ground, much like your sponge, soaks up water, but then it can only hold so much water before it's saturated. And once it's saturated, then where does the water go? It flows off somewhere, and that's what fills the dry washes and makes them run. Welcome to the agricultural town of Aguila. Aguila is Spanish for eagle. And there's a rock formation not too far away from here on the mountains that looks like an eagle. Sort of. It's an arch. I wonder if I'm going to get lucky today, because if I remember correctly, I could be wrong about that the town of Aguila has a market, but I don't know what day of the week the market is. Am I gonna get lucky? Oh my God, I think I'm gonna get lucky and that the market is happening today. So if I can just find a place to park. It's so like Mexico with the loud, overloud music and produce stands and other sales. So I'm gonna check it out. So I just can't say no to a good market. And I got $4 worth of produce for my asparagus, my himaka, and an avocado, plus a really nice bowl for $1. If I wasn't going to go to Wickenburg, I would turn left here on 71 and that would be a little bit more direct route to get me into Congress, but I do want to go to Wickenburg before camp. It'll be a shopping option. It's only 24 miles. And before I finally head out to camp and leave Wickenburg, I will stop at my favorite fast food place for lunch. Treat myself because it's a day out and I haven't eaten yet today. I'm still working on today's experiment of driving and taking video while on the road. But you know, I don't see why you'd want to be looking at me while I talk, or just the interior of my truck. So I've been showing you the road instead. And we'll see if this is a working thing or not. I'm sure there's a lot of people who've never been to this part of the country or traveled on these roads in Arizona. So maybe there'll be some interest about that. If there is, please leave a comment. Let me know down below. I'm still struggling to try to figure out what I'm doing with this whole video scene. And, well, that's all I can do. One thing about doing this video while I drive along is that it seems to make the time go pretty fast, because I'm actually doing my typical inner dialogue, speaking out loud thing, but I'm actually talking to you folks while I'm doing it, and sadly it's not a live thing, so I don't get any answers or questions or whatever, but you can write those in comments below. That's okay. Been an interesting experience, and I still have so much to learn about this whole video thing. I'm hoping to make Wickenburg a pretty quick turnaround here. I have trouble when I finally make it into town. I'm really slow in the store, and I end up taking really long. And I know once I get inside the store, it'll feel really cool. In fact, I might have to take a shirt with me, because it's often air conditioned to the point I am freezing to death. Otherwise, really, today is just about picking up some groceries. That's going to happen just up ahead here. Right, I could make a stop at the Goodwill, but honestly, I don't really need anything at the Goodwill, and I'm surely to find something I don't need to spend money on. Vulture Mine Road, this right turn would be where I've camped before as well, and I'll put a little link in about that one. It's kind of a nice place to camp, and it's only about 10-15 minutes out of Wickenburg. In fact, you can park so close to a big tower that you don't have any problem at all getting a strong signal if you need that as well. And here we go, getting ready to go shopping. Oh boy. Done with the shopping, and now heading out of Wickenburg. Well, not quite out of Wickenburg, because I'm going to stop for lunch. Oh, even though I just shopped, because I no way feel like cooking anything right now. I will have a pre-cooked chicken thing for dinner tonight, yay rah. But when I come to town, it's the one time about twice a month when I treat myself to lunch. And in Wickenburg, that means my favorite fast food place, Arby's. Like, I don't eat fast food very often. But when I do this is my preference. Got one hell of a wind picking up already, so I'm really glad it's going to be on my tail. And here comes my next turn, which means that this side wind will be pushing me on the butt, and I'm okay with that. Certainly will help the fuel mileage. Okay, Congress, here we come, 10 miles. Coming into Congress. Wind is crazy buffeting out of the west-southwest here, and whew, I'm really hoping for some shady spot for a camp and maybe a little protection from the wind. And there comes my turn to 71. I could have done that turn right after Aguila, but I had to get to Wickenburg for some groceries and lunch. Ooh, I like that light shadow on the Weaver Mountains. Very nice. Okay. Gonna head into the wind here briefly. Make another turn. And then make another turn on Ghost Town Road. Well, coming up to the divide in the road now, where the pavement's going to end, my direction up here to the right, because I'm heading down towards the mine, and Cemetery Road will be next. Here we go. Cemetery, Pioneer Cemetery, Cemetery Road. I only see a few rigs out here. Didn't really expect it to be very busy. Do you see some blooming going on? Skeet sending out his little flowers. Looks like the brittle bush is going. I saw some new growth on some of the prickly pear cactus. Haven't popped out any flower color yet, but hopefully once I get in here and park somewhere and get a walk around, we might actually get to see some flowers. kind of looks like maybe my old space is open. Be able to get a little bit of shade that way. What's this thing? Ah, maybe that'll work, huh? No. That way. Why can't I get this thing? Urgh. And not show the front of my truck. That's the key.